For the past 200 years, we have been negotiating and mediating, and it did not work. So how about we take it one step further and cut off their resources like the education they're getting from us, and if you've noticed, going back and using it against us.
That question and many others were fielded during an all-day forum hosted by Galen University. The session brought together tertiary level students from across the country, many of them getting for the first time critical information on Guatemala's unfounded claim and the journey to the ICJ, or not. The presenters included Ambassadors Stuart Leslie and Fred Murphy from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the FCD's Rafael Manzanero, Dr. Ludwig Palacio, and Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney.
We have today almost 10 universities, or tertiary level institutions, I should say, junior colleges. And we have been able to bring students from as far away as Toledo, the Keys, San Pedro, Corozal, Orange Walk, from out here in Cayo, Belmopan, Dangriga. So what we have here today is a truly national reflection of the students and the sentiments that they're sharing in there, the interviews, the questions that they've been asking. It's obviously national, and you're recognizing that everybody seems to think the same way as it relates to the issue and how the issue is affecting them. But at the same time, what we are able to recognize is that there is a need to get the information to these people. There is a need for us as educators to make sure that in our classrooms, we not only talk about issues that are affecting the world, but we talk about our national issues, making sure we get down in the trenches and ensure that the students understand what it is that they're going to be asked to vote on and understand what their vote is going to bring about.
After each presenting session, the students were allowed time to formulate questions on topics including the referendum, which will determine if we go to the ICJ, the role of that court, the economic impact of Guatemala's interaction with Belize, a legal analysis of Belize's position, and the way forward. Attorney Eamon Courtney handled that last part.
If this were to go to the ICJ between Belize and Guatemala, and we would win, it would still mean that Belizeans have to defend the border. Don't sit here and tell me the government is not defending the border. We have to insist that the institutions of the state take the measures that are required. Provide boots to the BDF, provide food to the BDF, provide the right mechanisms for them, the vehicles and equipment for them to move around, provide them with bullets, provide them with guns that work, provide the Coast Guard with a serious forward operating base, provide them with machinery, provide them with boats that can defend Belizean territory, that can confront Guatemala, and if we have to fire shots, we fire shots. That is the way in which you defend your nationality. That is the way in which you defend your territory. You do not defend your territory by kissing up and hugging up and saying how nice the enemy of your country is.
And then the real work, which will hopefully yield tremendous dividends. Each school has to formulate an action plan on the way forward. The voice of the next generation, and really, the voices that matter the most.
Our first suggestion was to educate our peers, our friends, our families, just everyone in our circle. You know, share what you have in your mind. And the second one is to work hand in hand with the media, because sometimes you see the media shaping the way they want to portray a certain issue, and that could affect us as a country, because you can't just give us a negative side. You always have to show the positive as well. And our final one was to change the voting age to 16, because if 16-year-olds are being held accountable for crimes, they must could vote as well.
We must demonstrate. We have to take action. We can't keep talking and talking and talking. So diplomacy is only a red velvet glove under an iron fist. We need to have the population behind what is going on. We need to have the students involved. And if we don't have that, we can kiss our country goodbye. But we need to demonstrate, get in the streets, get into the schools, into the minds of Belizeans to say, this is our country, this is a national issue, not an issue of the government, not an issue of the individual, but a national issue, a Belizean issue.
This is particularly of interest to us because we are an institution, it's right in Benque, so we are very close to the border. So our resolution would be, as an institution, to foster confidence-building measures among people of both nations. And that would include a formal partnership with another institution of the of Guatemala made to open the way for cultural, artistic, and educational exchange among both Belize and Guatemala.
The hope of the organizers is that this session will be the catalyst to focus discussions in each of the schools which attended today and, ideally, in the communities in which they live. Mike Rodon for News 5.